Hey. Guys, welcome to my channel. This is a story of what if Sasuke regrets his decisions and want to make atonement for his sin. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, it will surely help me, and also it will notify you on my upcoming videos, and check the description for the creator of this great fanfic. Thank you. Now let's start the story. Chapter 14. Who is that? Hokage Tower. The entire Konoha was there except for Kakashi's 3 recent teammates, who opted to just lay down in Sasuke's apartment. Kakashi and Yugao were paying their respect for the fallen. Jiraiya couldn't attend the funeral of his sensei. Naruto and Sasuke were already there. Naruto was the one hit the worse. If she wasn't a kunoichi right then, she would have cried. Last night, she and Sasuke drank an entire whiskey bottle each. The girl cried and wailed for hours at the loss of her grandfather figure, mentor, and someone close to her. Sasuke felt that he utterly misjudged the old man and Jiraiya. Damn it, him and his knowledge. He then saw how Sakura and Ino put a white flower on his coffin, probably thinking about the time when they gathered flowers and gave them to him. Teammate probably when they ate dango together and met with him, Shikamaru and Choji when he was in the classroom and they skipped class. Then it was his turn. He glanced at Naruto as he remembered when he was kind enough to let him move out of his empty house, which he slept in for an entire week, offered him that apartment that he now had his girlfriend sleep in with him. Said girlfriend remembered all her times, whenever she went to the office, got into trouble, talked with him, had ramen with him. All of their bonding time. He then clenched his fist as he whispered, "I will avenge your death personally." Sasuke's Mangekyo flared to life as he was about to do something really dumb when Kakashi stopped him by putting his hand on his shoulder. Sasuke nodded without turning and saw how Naruto was close to a now completely sobbing Konohamaru. He couldn't help but remember his own past. He really hated Orochimaru and everything related to him as much as Danzo. He saw how Naruto cried, he remembered her tears. That pain was something that motivated him to do the right thing. Kakashi, did the Nae help on the invasion? Sasuke asked, only for his sensei to shake his head. Now Sasuke had decided exactly what to do next. So, now what? Kakashi whispered, only for Sasuke to sigh. You better be there. Make sure to kill Danzo politically. Call him out for not helping in the invasion. Sasuke whispered so quietly, not even a ninja cat could hear him, only him and Kakashi. The crowd was full of clowns, and elite clowns. The easiness of Team Kyoryu ability to kill the invaders proved how badly the village was prepared. Hey, magnificent evil brat. Fine. Sasuke smirked. His plan was simple, political murder against each and every fucker who dared mess with his plan. Danzo needed to lose all credibility, and so the other 2 old fucks who took without providing anything to the village. His clan bled, fought, died and protected the village to their very last days, when the coup was about to start, when all of them were assembled the last year. But he remembered his early childhood when they caught any criminal who would be a threat. And these old fucks didn't even spare the civilians, the elderly, the women, the children. That was the straw that broke all of his loyalty to the village. He absolutely hated them with an unmatched fury. If it wasn't for Naruto, he would kill them and even their grandchildren. Then again, murdering children was something even he found absolutely disgusting. He decided, however, to do something he never thought of before, seeking the help of an outside source. Yes. His brother and his partner would do amazing. Then he remembered that Nagato held a deep grudge against Danzo. Oh, his day would be much better. Sasuke had a vengeful, evil-looking smirk as he made his decision. His brother had already given him a vial of his blood and a summoning scroll. Itachi's blood and his chakra equal a crow. Who said that C-rank jutsus were useless? He twitched as he remembered how Naruto outwitted him with a Moguragakure a few times. Also, how she was able to win in their duel between Kaden and Sweden. Needless to say that whenever they had an honest spar, they were definitely enjoying themselves. His bruises and many almost fractured bones. Not so funny afterward. He wondered about her potential sometimes, and he was terrified once when he realized that in 6 months she improved to the point where she can hold her own against him, if he limited himself to just Kaden and Raiden ninjutsu. Her quick thinking and flexible mind of a trapper was something to watch. He smirked more and more when his face was hidden. Oh, that was a good memory. Their times training, sparring, and even whenever she was in a loving mood. Their passionate kissing, him taking care of her, it almost brought him inner peace. All he had to do now was reach 17, becoming a clan head after marrying her, and then they're going to. He growled in rage, but he retained her himself. Last night he got drunk and remembered a memory he tried to stop at all costs. He killed the two larger threats, but then there were the daimyos, the other ninjas. They were strong, sure, but he was a higher rank. She was almost an A rank if she unleashed her full power. Kakashi was an S rank. Sasuke didn't make any mistake. Him surviving on the wave without a severe chakra exhaustion. That was no fluke. Kakashi was improving too. Sasuke wondered what if he and Naruto got the help they needed. He decided that they would not have accessed their biggest powers. Yet again, he didn't care. Him with an A in Mangekyo and her with Senin Kurama mode. However, he needed to do one last task. Getting Shisui's eye for one last thing to do. Capturing someone, put him in that genjutsu after putting the Shinigami mask on his face, and making him cut his stomach. As much as he wanted to make Orochimaru do it like last time, him making Naruto cry was enough for him to stop considering him a good guy. Their deal was null and void the very moment his dogs attacked his most precious person. Sasuke spared Itachi for many reasons. Now however, he would forgive him for real after he gets all the information he needed. In private probably. Hold on a second. That's it. Sasuke almost nodded contentedly as the funeral was over and he put his arm around Naruto's shoulder, and she put hers on his waist. It was a double message. One was declaring his love for her is pushing him forward, and two is that he'll always support her. And as they walked, ignoring Ino's face and Sakura's scowl, he walked his girlfriend to her old house. He waited patiently as Jiraiya arrived. Sasuke then gave him a serious look. So, now you want your apprentice on a 1-on-1 rank mission, in which you will abandon her to chase some slut, huh? Tough. We're all coming with you, like it or not. Oh, and she's moving in with me and permanently. Sasuke revealed as Jiraiya paled. Kid, do you see the future? Jiraiya really needed to know for himself. No, but knowing you. You will definitely do it, even leaving her to a bloodthirsty monster shark and my double agent foolish older brother. But then again, I know everything about Itachi. Sasuke revealed and Jiraiya paled. Now, you're going to play ball. Go ahead. Go to the Hokage tower. Fine. I wanted to talk to her. Jiraiya asked before Sasuke's Rinnegan stopped him and he understood the message. Where the fuck you were when she needed you? He nodded at the Avenger and disappeared. Kakashi was already with the Jonin Council. Hokage Tower, Meeting Room Danzo, Shikaku, Inoichi, Choza, Hiashi, Sume, Asuma, Shibi and Kakashi were in front of the two elders. Said elders were talking about the Godime, and this time, Kakashi decided to say something. I politely refuse your nomination for myself and Elder Danzo-sama to be the Godime, as I have an amazing team to look after, and as Elder Danzo-sama have, unfortunately, some crippling damages, excuse my bluntness. Kakashi replied as he was representing two clans, three if you count his own. Kakashi-san, who do you propose as the Godime? Shikaku asked as he was the Jonin commander. Who's better than a Sannin? Tsunade-sama might be gone, but Jiraiya-sama had always been loyal. Perhaps too loyal to the villages he never turned a traitor, nor left us in our time of greatest needs, nor did he take any retribution despite the fact that his own goddaughter was so mistreated here, that it took my students' bonding to undo so much damage, that it could have ended up killing anyone else with a bit less talent. Kakashi replied as Jiraiya had just arrived. Said Gama Sennin paled as he heard everything. We agree. The clans said in unison. We object. The elders and Danzo, and Jiraiya himself said in the same time. Now, Jiraiya glared at Danzo's direction. Look, I have a plan, my fans, and I am a political nightmare incarnated. You see, I think that Tsunade-hime can definitely do a much better job as a Hokage. Jiraiya replied as the three elders gave him a serious look. I object because one of these Sannin is a washed-up drunk, the other is a perverted manchild. Danzo replied. The teaching of the Sandaime is what brought us to this invasion. True, but where were you and your dogs, huh? Danzo, you didn't even help, but you hid like a coward when push came to shove. A coward being a Hokage, add him as a warhawk. Yeah, he would drag us all to our doom, and flee at the very first opportunity. Look, I want one shot at convincing Tsunade-hime. Jiraiya replied as he remembered exactly what Danzo did. Shikaku-san, Kakashi-san, guard the cage children as tightly as possible. Anyone getting in that's not named Morino Ibiki or Mitarashi Anko, is to be captured or terminated. Street your discretion. Who are you to order me around, kid? Danzo made the mistake to stand up only for Jiraiya and Kakashi to blast him with their combined killing intent. They were no Uchiha, but they can make the now almost extinct legendary clan proud. Your dogs tried to kidnap this village's only true Godime-sama, had Sandaime-sama lived 5 more years. Now then, let me ask you, what were you going to do with my goddaughter? Jiraiya threatened as he was ready to summon Gamabubta. Nothing. Just talk to her. Danzo replied as he cowered. Who can he use Shisui's eye in the presence of a Hyuga? No one. Good choice. You said the truth, Danzo-sama. Inoichi replied. Everyone looked at him in shock and then they made a consensus. Who votes for a restraining order against Shimura Danzo and Uzumaki Naruto? Jiraiya asked and they all but Danzo and the 2 remaining elders raised their hands in agreement. Even Hiashi, as he got that warning from Sasuke. Hiashi knows how much would an Uchiha go for the sake of his or her loved one. Then it is set by 11-3. Jiraiya announced. He might enjoy himself a bit as being the Hokage after all. Well then, I propose a specialized team to track down and retrieve Senju Tsunade and Kato Shizune. Whether she comes back as our Godime or as our new head Iryo ninja, is irrelevant. Also, I think that Uchiha Sasuke have a classified F-rank mission to do. F-rank? Shikaku asked curiously. His words. I know the mission details, but it is for the Godime's eyes and ears only, Honorable Council. Now, here's the details of the A-rank mission. Team Kakashi led by Jiraiya are ordered to track down and retrieve Senju Tsunade. Whether we convince her to be our Godime, our head ninja or kill her if she turns on us, if irrelevant. At this, the entire council nodded in respect for the usual goofy sage. This was not the woman peeping, money borrowing, booze-addicted manchild, this was the high S-rank sage that was able to destroy entire villages like they were nothing. The council was then dismissed as Jiraiya pulled Kakashi aside. Kakashi, what the fuck you were thinking? I needed to train my goddaughter for the love of Kami. What is wrong with you? Jiraiya asked the surely smirking Jonin. Well, you see, Jiraiya-sama, what's better? You or Danzo? Kakashi asked the Sannin who now was totally silent. Thought so. What if he kidnaps Naruto? Then Sasuke would definitely declare this as a war between him and Konoha, and knowing him. He will not stop until there's no one alive. The only thing that prevents him from doing so, is your own goddaughter. I saw his look, I know these eyes. He killed someone who's on par with me a few months ago, and with extremely minimal effort in front of my eyes. He killed 500 ninjas within a single hour single-handedly. I could only kill 250. That kid scares the shit out of me. Want to know more? Ask him about that Kurigakure reconnaissance mission, it was easily an S rank, and he pulled it off without a single scratch. That kid surpassed Itachi of all people chakra prowess, ninjutsu and maybe even genjutsu. His shurikenjutsu and kenjutsu led me to believe that he's an old hand, such muscle memory is rare in even Jonins. We got 2 lakhs. If me or Guy fall, that's it. I bet on the next generation, but only he and that Hozoki are ready. Naruto needs more training, Karen is still kinda inexperienced, Jugo is training to be a shinobi. You see now. Jiraiya remained silent. Look, do whatever you want, but please, don't waste their time and talent. Teaching them ninjutsu, fuinjutsu and chakra nature manipulation is essential for the war ahead. This time is coming sooner or later. War. Jiraiya asked Kakashi in shock. What was the Jonin touting right now? I'm not telling anyone but Godime-sama. Look, if Sasuke tells you, then it's fine. He won't lie about the mission. But don't tell anyone else. Kakashi warned as he then disappeared, leaving Jiraiya with his own thoughts. With Naruto and Sasuke, are you sure about this? Naruto asked her boyfriend who sighed dejectedly. Yes, I am. I'm sorry, but after this mission, I'm going home. I came to terms with my past. The dead will rest in peace finally. He begun only for her to pale and shriek in terror. No. I am not living on a haunted place. I'm not going anywhere where there's a possibility of seeing a ghost. They scare me. Naruto shrieked and squealed in terror as Sasuke laughed his ass off at her childishness. Seriously. Naruto who killed a Jonin on her first mission, Naruto who protected everyone during the invasion, Naruto who was able to clear out an entire bandit camp in less than 10 minutes, was afraid of ghosts. Oi, you're afraid of ghosts? Sasuke asked her in disbelief. They don't exist. If they do, I would have seen them with my own eyes. He decided to support her, it was better than a cheap laugher. You swear it? She asked, not really believing his words one bit. He smirked as he pointed at his back, the Uchiha crest was on display. I swear it on my own honor, and on their avenged souls, that there's no ghosts there. They rest in peace at last. I have a plan to make sure of it, once it's set in motion though. He smirked more. Your biggest problem and my worst failing will not be there anymore. You're hiding too much from me. She replied as she frowned. Naruto-chan, once you can deal with it, I will make sure that you know everything, I swear it on mom's soul. Sasuke replied seldomly and seriously. She smiled at his oath. I want to show you something though. Do you recognize this lady? Naruto took a look at the beautiful raven-haired before she realized. Sasuke-kun, you look exactly like her. Is she your mom? Naruto asked her teammate who gave her a sad smile but nodded nonetheless. Were you close to her? He nodded. Do you have any precious memories of her? Once again, he nodded sadly. Then she lives through you, like I do with my parents. Hey, wise one to boot. He muttered before his eyes lit on fire. He averted Gaara, but not Tonari, Utakata, that daimyo's cousin. His eyes seethed with such cold, absolute void hatred she was terrified as his face was more terrifying than death before he calmed down. Oi Tem, what's the big deal with you? She asked and he gave her a very serious look. I'm going to eliminate the competition, one by one. Sasuke replied seriously. Sai need to go, also Yamato if he does as much as giving Naruto his ghoul face. Sasuke's Mangekyo flared once again. Stop being so overprotective toward me, Tem-kun. Naruto hissed as he smirked and tackled her down before his fingers mercilessly started to dance over her sides. Stoop. Please. Naruto begged between laughter, her other words unintelligible. He smirked back. Only if you swear to leave me do just that. He replied as she struggled. Thinking quickly, he used his own hand to manipulate hers and 4-cage bunshin existed before he pinned her arms above her head while a clone took each side while the other two grabbed her feet. Soon her laughs became squeals and whines as she finally gave up, tears streaming down her eyes. She panted harder than any training as he left her on her own, but not before putting her back on his chest for support. See, Naruto Haim, if you follow my lead your life will be much easier. He teased only for her to unleash a long string of curses that would make any sailor blush. He just smirked at her when she said that he was a sadistic Tem. Your Tem, no. Of course my. Seriously. Am I transforming into a yandere? Naruto asked Sasuke who smirked as she tackled him and gave him a taste of his own medicine. Needless to say that the whole cage bunshin tickle fighting was declared to be. Not a good idea. Also, Naruto vowed to tame her Tem-kun and making him submit to her. The poor Uchiha didn't know if he should be afraid from her, or just accept his fate. He decided to pick both. Maybe having a dominatrix as a wife. Nope. She will torture him enough to make him her slave. Then again, knowing her, she would try everything to make him enjoy himself too much and probably die from pleasure. That's it. I'm getting more and more physical training until either my body breaks, or I can stay awake for an entire week straight. Sasuke declared as she asked him the only logical question. Huh. What's on your mind now, Sasuke-kun? She asked him innocently as he chuckled at her flipping like a switch between that fierce terrifying woman and cute innocent girlfriend. Nothing. He lied through his teeth. He remembered how they were, there. Well, semi-romance days which involved Sasuke murdering Tonari in a fit of rage, him getting drunk with her and they confessed, then she got pregnant, him learning about her mission that almost took her life, her death, his immeasurable grief and despair that took his life. He couldn't help but giving a dark hollow humorless chuckle of pain. Really, what can really make you pale like this? You look like a ghost. She replied seriously, and her irritation was clear by her now frowning twitching eyebrow and angry-looking lips that arched downward, her veins popping. When you accept your own death, ask me. Not that I would die before going there. Hell seems like heaven in comparison. Sasuke replied sadly. Look, I came in terms with it long ago. She replied as he looked at her. Her heartbeat was stable, yet a bit faster than normal as she focused herself. Look, death is unpredictable, so, either be a man or stay a coward. These words snapped something inside of him as he captured her lips in a possessive, soul-stealing, white-hot kiss, his arms wrapped tightly enough to break anyone else's bones, as if he would lose her if he released her. As he broke the kiss, gasping for air like she did, she felt his feeling. He was desperate. He just wanted to come clean with her about his power boost, about him being the same Sasuke she knows but with his future knowledge and powers, but he was really afraid of what she would think if she. The knocks on the door was the best distraction in his life. He sighed in relief. Naruto gave him an understanding look. He understood that this girl got the message, that even if she was ready, he would never be ready for this. I'll wait, but until we can get some privacy. She replied in an understanding tone. He sighed in utter relief and kissed her forehead lovingly. Arigato. Sasuke replied meekly as he went to open his door. The blonde was now scared witless. Sasuke was never this meek. Whatever it was, it broke him inside and out. It was like his very soul shattered upon whatever he was going to tell her. It was definitely something bad that happened to her of all people. She will wait, but not too much. She hoped that he trusted her enough though. Yo, Gaki and Gakiet, grab the other Gakkus and let's move out for an A-rank mission. Jiraiya asked the team's two Chunins. Also, pack for an undetermined length mission. At this, alarm bells rang in Sasuke's mind. Hey, I don't want a future Hokage to be banished for going AWOL, nor some people who are still unproven. Sasuke replied, although, he didn't care much actually. Oh I see. See this. Jiraiya asked the Uchiha who grabbed the mission issued and stamped by the council, before he nodded. It was a legit one. Legit. Although, your actions are desirable to be proven ASAP. Sasuke warned as he turned his Mangekyo on. I don't care about myself, but see this. Her dream is to be the Hokage on her terms, so I will do everything in my power to make sure she realizes it. Sasuke spoke with utter conviction. THST made Naruto hate her insecurities. Sasuke, why do you believe in me? Naruto asked her boyfriend who smiled at her. Because you proved your worth to me since that very day. He replied seriously. Look, tell that giant fox that if he doesn't help you next time, our deal is null and void. Is this something that I don't know since it is related to, you know? She asked as he nodded. Okay, you are going to tell me or someone else. But I'd rather trust you completely, you know. Hey, fine, I have. No, we have an F-rank mission, shall we run onto our targets? Sasuke told her as he sealed the very last thing on his apartment. Now it was only walls, doors, window. Every time that wad worth a ryo from the ground to the ceiling was sealed. The Uchiha smirked as he had an idea. Naruto-chan, please collect the team. Sasuke asked his girlfriend who nodded and flared her chakra once. It was enough for the remaining three to appear in front of them. What now, Sasuke? Karen asked in irritation as the Uchiha sighed. Look, Karen, it seems that we have a mission or something, no? Suigetsu asked as Sasuke nodded as his jovial yet sharp friend. Yes we do. Probation be damned when the Godime is concerned. Oh and guys, ladies, please take this, go buy us some packing equipment for a month or more trip. Karen, you're in charge now. Sasuke announced as Naruto punched his shoulder. It was her way to show displeasure. He gave her an apologetic look before she shunshined away to the wall, as he smirked viciously. Why doesn't he trust me when it comes up to money? Naruto asked before she resigned to her fate. Well, Karen, let's move on. Suigetsu ordered his friend who nodded at him. Time to see how good you are financially wise. Prove him right, Karen nay. Naruto told her cousin in a high-pitched voice. And soon enough, they arrived at their destination. Uzumaki-san. The shopkeeper, no older than 20, bowed at Naruto, surprising the blonde girl. I never expressed my gratitude for saving my grandma and nephew. Please buy anything you like. At this, the Uzumaki blonde blushed. Thanks. It was the least I can do. She replied bashfully before she chose some medium-quality gears. These will be able to withstand the long-term time corrosion, but they were also cheap enough not to use the woman's generosity. As Karen was about to pay, the woman looked at the gear before she frowned. Then she replaced all the gears and equipment for some of the highest quality for the 5 of them, and she insisted that they don't pay a single ryo. With Itachi and Kisame, the two S-rank nuke nins had no idea that one teen Uchiha was now beside them. "Missed your village, Itachi-san?" Kisame asked the Uchiha, who shook his head and replied by, "No." "Yo, foolish older brother, we need to talk about something before you terrorize three old coots. It's about you, me, mom, dad, Izumi, the children, the elderly, the women, and the civilians." Sasuke greeted Itachi before he turned to Kisame. "And welcome back, Kisame. I take it that the leader had decided to change the plan." Sasuke smirked as Kisame's mouth gaped. "Does he know? Look, what do you want?" Kisame asked, and Sasuke tapped his finger on his chin. Killing Orochimaru won't be against your objectives, right?" The shark-toothed man shook his head. "Itachi, I want to know everything, and I mean everything. You see, here's the deal, I want to know why you didn't bargain better. You're a pacifist, so why you never spared anyone else?" Sasuke's anger was now boiling down. "Because to me your life was worth more than anything else," Itachi replied. "I was afraid that they kill you. Happy now? When will we have our fated fight?" Itachi asked his brother, who shook his head. "Never. Get better, and especially, just meet us at a town later on. Now then, I want to tell you something. I can get promoted to Jonin, but I chose not to. And tell Nagato that if he harms a single hair of my Kanojo, then I will kill Konan and burn aim to the very center of earth." Sasuke's threat was terrifying to say the least, especially since he remembered how Naruto almost died. If it wasn't for Hinata. "Look, he said that he will spare you, your friends and your girlfriend specifically. The others, however," Itachi replied as Sasuke smiled devilishly at him. "There's a young couple and a scarecrow, please don't kill them." Sasuke replied as Kisame laughed at the kid's cute kindness. "Hee, fine by me then. So, Itachi-san, let's go. Interesting kid brother you have," Kisame said as he shunshined with Itachi while Sasuke smirked and shunshined to where his team was. "Outside the village. Give me one reason why I shouldn't take my team and chase this Tsunade woman." Sasuke replied. "It's stated to bring her alive by any means necessary, which it depends on how much alive I will be leaving her. Gaki, watch your tone. Tsunade Hime is notorious hard to track, you know. Like I need to gather some intel before we can find her." Jiraiya replied, and Naruto almost exploded. He was wasting their time they could be training to get stronger. Sasuke admitted that he lucked it out in 2 battles, 3 when you count the last A rank and 4 times if you count the invasion. "Will you take this seriously or what? We don't have time to waste traveling between towns. How the fuck does she smells like?" Naruto asked Jiraiya, who shrugged. "Aro Sennin, are you really the spymaster?" The girl gave him a disbelieving look as he nodded. "You have no idea how your own teammate smells like?" Sasuke asked in disbelief. "Do you know that, Gaki?" Jiraiya asked, and Sasuke smirked as he pointed Saint Naruto, honey, orange and summer breeze. He pointed at Suigetsu, steel and sea salt. He pointed at Jugo, wood and rain. He then pointed at Karen, perfume and rain. "And you smell like burned oaks, ozone and something. I have no idea how to describe." Naruto's reply made Sasuke smirk at her. "She does have a keen sense of smell, it seems. Kakashi smells like a wheat field, and you smell like alcohol and cheap women." Sasuke added, and Naruto's fit of laughter begun. Even Jugo laughed at Jiraiya's expense. Midnight Sasuke couldn't sleep in the full moon as it reminded him of so many memories, neither was a good one. His clan's annihilation, Itachi's eyes, Naruto's sickness and her death. He woke up from his daze as he kicked Jiraiya awake. Before the sage could even ask, Sasuke activated his Rinnegan's and darted away. He was surprised to see that Kisame was napping. Itachi was waiting for him with a few gourds of sake. "Hello my dear foolish little brother." Itachi greeted Sasuke, who smirked. "Hello my dear fool of an older brother." Sasuke greeted back. "So, what do you want now?" And still more hatred. "Good fucking luck telling me the truth. I already know. But I wanted to know one thing. Ka-san did forgive you. Sasuke, allow me to show you everything that happened." Itachi replied in a sad tone. And soon enough it hit Sasuke. Sasuke watched how Itachi started with his girlfriend, and how she thanked him, how he started with those 3 Uchihas who accused him of murdering Shisui, something that he would have never done so. He showed him their parents' last words. He showed him how he threatened Danzo, how the elders used his loyalty against him, how the Sandaime was prepared for war if diplomatic solutions were ceased to exist. The Avenger almost broke down in tears. His older brother was too kind for his own good. Now Sasuke, kill me. Avenge our family. Itachi asked his younger brother who sighed forlornly. Itachi Nichan, I forgive you. Your sickness is a punishment in itself. Sasuke whispered before he went to his brother and hugged him. Look, I decided to come clean with you. I need to show you this, but before that, promise me a favor, and also, I need your help with something else. And your wisdom. Sasuke's meek tone was the most alarming thing that ever happened to Itachi. I promise, Sasuke. Itachi struck the deal as Sasuke showed him everything THST would have happened. From his escape from Konoha, to training under Orochimaru, to his almost return when he saw Naruto's big blue eyes looking at him in a betrayed manner. To him killing Itachi, to him learning the entire truth, his fight against Killer Bee, the 5 cages, killing Danzo, fighting his old team, Naruto saving him from his suicide attempt, him feeling something towards the blonde. Their final battle when he finally admitted defeat, the war against Madara, the entire mission to save her from Tonari's clutches, murdering Tonari, who kidnapped his pregnant girlfriend, her being diagnosed with an incurable disease, her dying in his 2 arms, him losing all hope and sanity, him practically killing himself by sending his memories, knowledge and chakra, him unlocking the 3 stages of the Sharingan, his headache. Everything. That did it. Uchiha Itachi cried for the first time since the massacre. Uchiha Itachi hugged his brother fiercely. Uchiha Itachi asked Sasuke his forgiveness for pushing him into a very dark and self-destructive path, not realizing that his younger brother was actually an introvert with a really low self-esteem. Sasuke, how can I atone? Itachi asked his brother who smirked at him evilly. You know, you can assassinate the elders. The entire Nei Foundation will be dismembered by the Godime, and Danzo will go on a political mission. You, Kisame and Nagato surely can take your 10 pounds of flesh. Also, you can always come home for a few minutes, testify in the entire Uchiha massacre case, and then. Yeah. Or kill the 2 elders. I mean you're the sterile nuke nin who knows a lot more than I can despite my 8 years of wisdom. Sasuke's reply made Itachi understand the meaning of his brother. You are the nigh invincible S-rank nuke nin who needs to stay healthy. If I live long enough to have some nephew and nieces, then I will spoil them rotten. Itachi chuckled mirthlessly, what's your terms? Kill the 3 old fucks. Hints on improving physically, and I have to tell Naruto the truth, but I'm afraid. Sasuke replied as Itachi sighed. Also, I need a crow with Shisui ni eye. To make someone wear the Shinigami mask and undo the seal. All are easy terms. I'm reporting something to Jiraiya-sama soon enough, so meet me then. Also, I will do it after killing Danzo. About the whole confession thing, how does she feel towards you? I dunno. She loves me, yet she doesn't want to be an obstacle. She's too good for me, yet she insists on the reverse. Sasuke replied sadly, her insecurities and self-confidence lacking behind her mask made me want to kill each and every fucker who wronged her. Only for her I spared them. Yandere. You are a yandere, not that it does mean that it is bad for her. Your jealousy, protective, possessive, and loving nature is something that probably made her feel how loyal you are to her. Itachi replied as he took a drink, while Sasuke gulped his own in one go. It was fun talking to you. Hey, I have a slug to find and a snake to kill. Wish me luck, as the toad is fooling around. Sasuke replied as Itachi sighed. He really respected the shinobi called Jiraiya, but he did not have an ounce of respect for the man he was. Just talk to her before it's too late, and you would lose someone you can never replace. Itachi advised as his thoughts wandered to his girlfriend. I almost did. This does it. I have 2 options it seems. See ya around, Itachi Nichan. Sasuke saluted his brother before he disappeared, leaving the older Uchiha with his own thoughts. Jiraiya almost chewed Sasuke out for his recklessness, only for the Uchiha to glare at him coldly. He really wanted his girlfriend to leave no stone unturned. Yet this fool is wasting their time. Look, let's sleep. Sasuke ended the conversation and he dropped like a log, for a while at least. He never truly slept, he more likely napped more than slept. Until the day where he and Naruto are the strongest shinobi in Kunoichi, he would never leave her unprotected, no matter what. The next morning, do you have any pictures of Tsunade? Anything that would help us? Sasuke asked seriously as he remembered THST Jugo can talk to the animals around him. Well, this looks like her. Jiraiya replied as he handed them a picture of her, but sometimes she's a young girl too. Got it. Jugo replied as he let an eagle sit on his arm. The eagle was shown the picture and he squeaked at Jugo before he flew away. He said that he saw her with a pig and a brunette in that town over there. If we hurry up, we will definitely catch her up. Jugo announced as Jiraiya scoffed at the idea while Suigetsu smirked. Hey, never thought that animals can communicate and track down people you wanted to find, you're something else, Jugo. But really, I thought they were dumb, not that I encourage animal cruelty at all. Suigetsu said as he then took a sip from his bottle, but really, I think that maybe because they're dumb they can track down people and chakra. He was hit by Karen's fist and he smirked at her evilly. Hey, stop being an asshole you bastard. Karen replied as Suigetsu shrugged it off. Naruto shook her head at their antics, it was like her and Sasuke. Well, how reliable are they? Jiraiya asked Jugo who turned toward him, the method I mean. Also, I noticed THST you are always absorbing senjutsu chakra, maybe you need some control. Cool, and what should I get then? Naruto smiled in excitement as Jiraiya sighed. He then gave her a scroll on. Hair manipulation. Hair manipulation. Are you for real, Arrow Sennin? Hey, it works amazingly, and it's a B-rank jutsu. He replied seriously. Besides, an ace in the hole is something we all need, no. Jiraiya's mentioning the B-rank level made her smile in excitement as she made 100 cage bunchins. You know what to do. Naruto replied as Sasuke smirked at her talent. If improving so much wasn't a talent, he had no idea what it was. Suigetsu focused on channeling his chakra through the Kubikiribocho to make it sharper and sharper. So far, he was barely progressing, despite the fact that Naruto of all people explained to him how to use wind chakra. The Hozoki might be an amazing talent when it came up to using his water chakra, but wind chakra was notoriously rare. He then tried to cleave a tree in half, only to go halfway through. He cursed in frustration before he tried again and again. He needed to do that on the fly. This is harder than expected. Jugo was now trying to control his senjutsu chakra, which proved to be much harder than expected. He cursed as Sasuke stopped his rampage for the nth time. Karen was trying her own original jutsu that involved a form of telekinesis, something that she had in her mind for a long time. However, it was hard, much harder than she expected. She realized THST she needed focus more than chakra. That was a block. Either experience either a better odd. In short, Team Taka was struggling. Only Sasuke was walking calmly, if his struggle was not physical, but a mental one. The complete Susanoo was amazing and all, but it was gargantuan and over the top. If only he can have his armored Susanoo to sprout legs somehow. Then he got an idea. How about a smaller, winged, four-armed beaked Susanoo? That sounded like a good idea, now it was theory time. Then he remembered his dilemma. He needed to tell Naruto the entire truth. However, at the rate of the events unfolding, it seems like he will get a heart attack before that ever happening. The more he thought about it, the more his chakra became more and more sinister, cold, and terrifying. He then finally realized something very important. Mental anguish and trauma. Sasuke-kun. Naruto turned toward her boyfriend who froze. He saw his teammates shaking in fear from his own chakra. Even the usually calm and aloof Jugo was now sweating profusely. Jiraiya was now looking at him with a different perspective. It was just like, I think I am becoming more and more like that man. He whispered in a bit of terror. No. He will never be the next Madara, no matter what. His thoughts were interrupted as his girlfriend put an arm around his waist, prompting him to put his own around her narrow shoulders. As she squeezed him reassuringly, he did pull her in a protective manner. The more they walked like that, the more at ease he became. Maybe he shouldn't be thinking about any grim thoughts for now. Maybe he should just let himself being a bit hopeful. Nay, Suigetsu, who are these three ninjas who made that barrier? Naruto asked the Hozoki who smirked. That six-armed guy is mine, Fatso is Jugo's prey, and that female-looking bastarded twin can merge with others. Suigetsu replied only for Sasuke to give him an evil smile. Okay, I think I have a plan. If Naruto-chan wants to kill, that's it. he asked, and his girlfriend shook her head only for him to sigh. Fine fine. Jugo, you kill the fat ass. Suigetsu, you kill that spider. I will kill that fucker and his master snake. Oi, this is Orochimaru we're talking about. He killed the Sandame, you know. Jiraiya warned Sasuke, who laughed mirthlessly. Naruto giggled and the other three gave Jiraiya a deadpan look. 500 plus shinobis. Sasuke replied monotonously, and Jiraiya's blood run cold. 12 years old should not be this easily able to kill. He looked at the Uchiha's eyes and realized that this kid will not lose 1 second of sleep after he kills someone. Kid, why did you become like that? Jiraiya asked Sasuke, who shrugged. Let's just say that I lost what's most precious multiple times. Sasuke replied calmly. Oi, Sasuke-kun, you won't become a monster with no morals, will you? Naruto's question was met with a grunt. Holy crap, he is. He smirked at that and grunted again. Sheesh, thanks I guess. But don't forget to tell me when you can handle it. No, I think that I need to tell you whenever we're alone. He replied as she slumped forward only for him to carry her on his back. He shook his head at the unconscious Uzumaki girl that he carried in a piggyback. Nice one. Oi, what did she do right now? Karen asked worriedly. She finished her training. Sasuke answered seriously. Already? How come? Suigetsu asked in a disbelieving tone. You see, she never stops her training until she finish it, and since she fell like that. Sasuke explained, and Jugo concluded. She got the jutsu just about now. Jugo announced as he stopped from his training. Then, the eagle arrived and landed on his left arm, squeaked a few times, before he flew. Thanks. He says that she's in that direction. Jugo pointed at somewhere. We'd better move now. Training can wait. Say Sasuke, why did you decide to tell her a secret that probably was well hidden right about now? Suigetsu asked the Uchiha, who sighed. Because we might very well walk into our death after killing Orochimaru. Say Jiraiya-san, how many of Orochimaru's bases do you know? Sasuke asked Jiraiya, who gave him a questioning look. About 3, why? He asked as the Uchiha decided to wait. Not now. We must get that woman, any means necessary. If we have to drag her back, then it's fine. He replied as he remembered that he needs to learn the Edo Tensei. So let's just say that we couldn't convince that Tsunade woman. Is there any weakness we can exploit? Suigetsu asked Jiraiya, who remained silent. Oh, I see. One-sided love. I feel sorry for you, old man. What do you know about that? Jiraiya barked only for Sasuke to sigh. Maybe more than you know. Jugo replied. Maybe you should confess the truth. But so far, you tried to get some times with your goddaughter to know her more. Unfortunately, you arrived a bit too late. Knowing Sasuke, he would not let anyone take her away from him. Hell, she became his live-in girlfriend. Karen replied with a sly smirk. If you will take her away from him, I have no idea what he would do, nor do I care to stop him. She's the only person who never gave up on me. Sasuke muttered. I see. You make her love seems like inexistent compared to your own. Jiraiya replied as Sasuke sighed. I do not care one bit. He replied sadly. I blame her for me being. Not this time. I will never lose her. You know that I would take her on a training trip. Jiraiya asked Sasuke, who scoffed. Senjutsu. I agree. Anything else? Forget it. He replied with a tone that left no room for discussion. So, what's her Kekkei Genkai? Jiraiya asked, and Sasuke laughed mirthfully before he smirked. Only the Rinnegan is rarer. His reply made Jiraiya's blood freeze. Mokuten. He whispered, and the other three looked at the blonde with a new light. How strong was she? Fun fact. I didn't even know about it, nor her Haijutsu when I decided to date her, and maybe marry her eventually. Sasuke replied seriously, she's just an angel in the form of a girl. Hey, her kindness does balance your cruelty a bit. Suigetsu replied, and Sasuke sighed. I heard many of her pranks. God, that girl is crazy. Hey, crazy, mystifying, bewitching, attractive, she's like the only type of gravity that can attract me towards her. Sasuke was amazingly talkative with Jiraiya. It seems that he did care about them enough. Is he always talkative? Jiraiya asked Jugo, who shrugged. Only with those he respects enough. Which are you, somehow. Kakashi-sensei, us, and especially Naruto. Jugo's reply made Sasuke sigh. He didn't need words, he needed action. If only his powers were like in his glory days. This kid is something. Maybe I should train all of them. Well, I guess that only Naruto needs to remain outside the village. Jiraiya thought before he remembered how protective Sasuke was. No. Only for her senjutsu training, he said. Maybe I should listen to him. When did I earn your respect? Jiraiya asked Sasuke, who glanced at Naruto. I see, when I decided to teach her better. So now what? Fuinjutsu. Sasuke replied seriously. You see, I have a few ideas. She would definitely be an amazing investment, and Karen needs to take the way of her clan. I see, what do you think about specialization? Jiraiya asked Sasuke, who laughed his ass off gently, just so he doesn't disturb his sleeping girlfriend. It kills. There's the exception like Meta Guy, but competency and specialization are the reason why so many ninjas dies. One chakra nature at best. Genjutsu or Taijutsu or Ninjutsu specialist. Fuinjutsu specialist. Haijutsu or Kekkei Genkei over reliance. Please. That does seem like the best path to the grave. Sasuke scoffed as he looked at his team. None of them are specialized ninjas. Jiraiya asked the team who sighed. Or trying to break that chain once and for all. Kakashi-sensei taught us to do things outside our comfort zone, which it means that we do have strength and weaknesses, but it doesn't mean to focus only on said strength and weaknesses. Sujutsu's reply made the team nod in agreement. Kenjutsu alone can get you so far, Taijutsu alone can take you that far. Ninjutsu alone can't be always the answer, if it is only a short-range one. One must cover all ranges, be it a mile away, or an inch away. Hey, you guys are pretty deep. Naruto's voice was heard. Thanks for carrying me, Sasuke-kun. She said, only for the Uchiha to throw her upward and twirl, carrying her now over his shoulder. Hey, put me down. I'm not a potato sack. Naruto's angry tone was accompanied by her embarrassed blush, as Sasuke smirked. Nah, you're my sack of light. He replied as she kicked her legs while she covered her face while the team was laughing at her embarrassed form. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more what ifs and support the author. See you guys in the next video.